Coming up on Network Africa, thousands in Madagascar continue to march in protest against new election laws. Yet another Nigerian killed in Rustenburg, South Africa. And Zimbabwe nurses call off strike challenging their dismissal in court. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Millicent Walker. We begin in Madagascar, where thousands of protesters continue to march in the capital, Antananarivo, against new electoral laws. The demonstrators assembled in front of the city hall and a public square, also in protest of the death of one person in a similar march over the weekend. Supporters of opposition politician Mark Ravalomanana, a former leader, says the new electoral laws are designed to block him from running. Mr. Ravalomanana, who was removed in a 2009 coup, teamed up with the man who succeeded him, Andy Rajulina, to oppose the laws pushed by the president. A senior U.S. government official is making a rare visit to Eritrea, a country which is under sanctions over alleged ties to Islamist militants. While the acting Assistant Secretary for African Affairs, Donald Yamamoto, is to meet government officials at a time when the Eritrean authorities are seeking support to end the UN sanctions, which include an arms embargo. The UN Security Council imposed the sanctions in 2009 after an investigation found that Eritrea was supporting armed groups in neighboring Somalia, including Al-Shabaab. However, the Eritrean government has denied any links with extremists. Nurses in Zimbabwe are back to work after ending a strike action days after Vice President Constantino Chiwenga last week announced the sacking of 16,000 workers. The nurses held a peaceful demonstration in the center of Harare's business district to petition authorities over poor pay and working conditions. The Zimbabwe Nurses Association said it had filed a court application to force the government to reverse its decision to fire the nurses.
About 500 nurses gathered at a park in Harare's business district, dressed in official uniform, together with members of the public, to protest against what they call an illegal dismissal. The nurses walked out on Monday over unpaid allowances and a flawed system for grading salaries, leaving hospitals understaffed. They say they want to be paid the allowances promised by the government in 2010 that was never honored.
Legally, our contracts cannot be terminated through a television announcement. If the government feels that the strike action is not legal, then that's unfortunate, because we gave them 14 days notice, but they did not respond. Their claim that we do not care for the patients is also untrue.
The association said it was open to talks with the government and that its grievances had not yet been resolved. The nurses' strike comes after the government gave in to doctors' demands and hiked their salaries following a month-long strike that had crippled the health sector.
I'm not able to give my kids what they deserve to get. Even the school that I'm sending my children is not the school that they are supposed to go to. As a nurse, I expect to send my child to an A school, but they just go to a B school because I cannot afford with my salary. I have to do something else so that I get more income for my children.
Comes after the government gave in to doctors' demands and hiked their salaries following a month-long strike that had crippled the health sector.
I can tell you from first-hand experience, my father just died a few months ago, just a month ago, and I had an experience of being with him in Parenyato Hospital. The hospital is non-existent. There are no medications. We, the people, have to buy each and everything that we have to use in Parenyato. So why should I not understand what the nurses are talking about when they say we need medications in hospital?
The Zimbabwe Teachers Union, which itself has threatened to go on strike next month over poor pay, said the government should rescind its inhuman and unilateral decision to fire the nurses. President Emerson Mnangagwa's government is seeking to keep a lid on labor unrest in the build-up to the first elections in July since the fall of Robert Mugabe.
And we go over to South Africa, where another Nigerian has been burned to death in Rustenburg after his vehicle was set ablaze. The president of the Nigerian Union in South Africa, Adetola Lubajo, who confirmed the incident, explains that the attack is the latest onslaught on Nigerians living in South Africa. Police authorities have also confirmed the attack, saying that there were two separate incidents where two vehicles were burned by a known suspect. The statement says in one of the incidents, a man sustained serious injuries after being set ablaze, but later died in hospital. The killing of a Nigerian comes less than 10 days after another Nigerian, Thangold Okoro, was murdered in Florida West Rand in Johannesburg. Records show that no fewer than 117 Nigerians have been killed in South Africa since February 2016.